The high-end Skydeck lounge at Crescent City International was usually filled with soft jazz and hushed business calls. But that day, a strange tension lingered in the air. One of those heavy silences that warns something's about to blow. You could feel it like static building before lightning strikes. And yeah, I was right in the middle of it. At the center of the quiet storm were two sisters, Talia and Renee Moore. Not just sisters, mirror twins. They looked alike, but moved through the world in completely different rhythms. Talia, smooth and analytical. Renee, all electricity and sharp edges. Both of them were dressed in quiet power, simple but expensive. Not the kind of flash that screams, but the kind that whispers, "We earned this." They were headed to Zurich to headline a major tech symposium. Their app, FlowStack, had gone viral in financial circles, and their company was making waves. This trip wasn't just a work gig. It was a moment, proof of how far they'd come. Two first-class seats, bought with their own corporate rewards. No favors, no handouts. Renee was running through slides on her tablet, muttering about AI regulation loopholes. Talia sipped chamomile tea, watching the clouds slide by through the tall glass windows. She checked her watch, boarding in 25 minutes. Then the door swung open, and walked Marla Penrose, exuding that sharp-edged kind of wealth that comes from being handed everything and appreciating none of it. Her hair was frozen in place like lacquered armor, and she wore a velvet tracksuit bedazzled with initials that weren't even hers. Behind her was Greg, a worn-out Gates supervisor whose eyes silently begged someone to fake a fire drill. Marla didn't ease into the room. She cut through it. "I need those seats," she barked, motioning past Talia and Renee like they were luggage. Greg cleared his throat. "Those seats are already assigned, Mrs. Penrose. 1A and 1B. They were confirmed days ago." Marla didn't blink. "Then unassign them. My husband has 1C, and we do not fly apart. Ever. I'll take their seats, and they can enjoy business class. They look young. I'm sure they'll bounce back." She threw the word "they" like a dart, and her eyes never once landed on the sisters. Talia set her cup down, slow and steady. "I'm sorry," she said, tone ice cold. "That's not happening." Marla's expression twisted like she'd never heard no from someone she thought beneath her. "You'll be compensated," she snapped. "A $600 voucher. Maybe use it for whatever it is you do." Renee smirked. "We run a global tech firm. Your voucher wouldn't cover our server fees." That's when Ava Denon entered, head of guest relations. Tailored suit, clipboard like a sword. She'd heard enough. What seems to be the problem? Marla launched into a melodramatic tale about her husband's aviation phobia and her platinum status. When Ava reviewed the manifest and saw Talia and Renee's confirmed seats, she was clear. No changes will be made. These seats are guaranteed. That didn't sit well with Marla. She leaned in, voice sharp and sour. "I see how this goes. You get your diversity moment for the annual report, and people like me get pushed aside." The room froze. Every conversation stopped. Even the coffee machine paused mid-brew. Talia's jaw tightened. Renee pulled out her phone. "Let's go ahead and make sure this gets documented." Marla folded her arms, convinced she was still in control, until Renee tapped her screen and made a call. "Hey, Uncle Marcus, I need you to hear something." The voice that replied was calm, but carried weight. "Go ahead, Renee." As the phone switched to speaker, the whole lounge heard the man introduce himself. Marcus Bell, majority shareholder and co-chair of Alta Sky Group, which as of earlier this year had quietly acquired a controlling interest in Crest Air. Greg's face drained of color. Marla paled. Marcus continued. "Why are my nieces being asked to vacate their paid seats to accommodate a passenger who insulted them and degraded our staff?" He requested Ava hand him directly to corporate. She complied. In the next 10 minutes, things unraveled fast. Marla's ticket was voided. Her elite status? Canceled indefinitely. Her husband's law firm, which held a contract with Alta Sky's commercial division, terminated on breach of ethics. The lounge staff? Ordered to report to a closed-door review the following morning. Marla stood there in stunned silence. Her husband wasn't even present, just a text away from career disaster. Greg tried to apologize, but Talia stopped him. "You followed orders," she said. "Next time, Maybe ask who's giving them. Ava personally escorted the Moore twins to their seats. First row, prime service. Glasses of chilled rose were waiting. As they settled in, Renee glanced out the window and caught Marla being escorted out. No bags, no perks, no power. Direct karma, Renee whispered. But the story didn't stop there. The next day, at Alta Sky HQ, Ava met with the board and was offered a new position, head of global equity operations. Her job? Redesign the customer experience from the ground up. Greg, still early in his career, was reassigned to training, not fired but given one shot to prove himself. Marla's husband? Disbarred within weeks. His firm, once an empire, crumbled under public backlash. The scandal made headlines. Back in Zurich, Talia and Renee's keynote was a showstopper. They announced the launch of the Elevate Grant, a $15 million fund for underrepresented innovators in tech, co-sponsored by Crest Air. Guess who was invited to lead the selection board? The sisters, of course. Crest's new branding campaign rolled out weeks later. Talia and Renee featured front and center, one A and one B, side by side, glowing with purpose. Tagline, Crest Air, excellence takes its seat. And somewhere in the echoing halls of privilege, Marla Penrose had to watch it play out. Over and over again. Proof that some thrones aren't taken. They're built. Because real power? It doesn't shout. It shows up. And it stays. What happened that day at Crescent City International wasn't just a petty travel dispute or a clash of egos. It was a mirror. A moment that exposed how deeply entitlement still lives in places dressed up as exclusive, and how easily power is assumed by those who've never had to earn it. But more importantly, it was proof that things are shifting. Talia and Renee Moore didn't just keep their seats. They rewrote the rules while sitting in them. They didn't argue. They didn't scream. They didn't lower themselves to the ignorance that tried to erase them. Instead, they let their work, their presence, and their truth speak louder than any insult. In a space designed to make people like them feel like exceptions, they became the new standard. And Marla Penrose? She learned the hard way that the old playbook doesn't work anymore. Throwing around money, influence, or last names can't outshine character. It can't erase the damage of a single sentence spoken in superiority. What she thought was a harmless moment of leverage ended up costing her family everything. Her husband's $1 million contract, their place in polite high society, their carefully curated image. It all crumbled because of one person's refusal to sit quietly while being disrespected. There's something deeply satisfying about that kind of justice. Not the messy, angry kind. The kind that moves with precision, that hits when it counts, and changes the game for everyone watching. Because people were watching. Everyone in that lounge. Everyone on that flight. Everyone who saw the campaign that followed. They saw what grace under fire looks like. They saw that earned success doesn't need to prove itself. It just is. The Moore twins turn a moment of insult into a movement of impact. The Elevate Grant isn't just a PR stunt. It's a pipeline. A legacy. It says to every kid who's been overlooked, every entrepreneur who's been doubted, you don't need to beg for your seat. You just need to build the table. So, if you're ever in a room where someone tells you you're in the wrong place, remember this. Maybe they're the ones who don't belong anymore. Real power doesn't sit quietly in the background. It boards first with a vision. It launches ventures, builds empires, and changes systems from the inside out. This wasn't just revenge. It was revolution, dressed in first class. And it's just getting started.